Alright, I'd like to introduce to you guys a brand new quarterback. It's called the T4QB, the Tallguy-Tweaked TTQB. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of Lexan, which is polycarbonate. It looks like glass. This is the one I got at Home Depot. It's called Lexan, that's the brand name, but polycarbonate is the, as you see here, the name. That's the material that this is. And basically there's this cover on this, otherwise it's perfectly clear underneath it. Like this one here, I've picked up online. This is a sheet. The reason I don't use the Home Depot one, this is 3/32 of an inch thick. It's a little too thick. It's too stiff. I bought these two online. This one has the coating on it. When you peel it off, it's perfectly clear. This one I've already peeled off. This is 2/32, or better known as 1/16. This is 1/32. You can see it's wobbly. In my earlier renditions of these quarterbacks, I was doing this way. Actually, my earliest ones were with pieces of aluminum. I got these aluminum bars at Lowe's. Aluminum is probably not the right metal because it kind of bends. What I did here was I took two 1/64th pieces of aluminum, rolled it around. I did it with a rivet here. I even went to tiny little screws and nuts to hold it in place. And I even went to the JB Weld epoxy to hold this guy in place. So these guys are all pretty accurate. Even the early versions are very, very accurate here. So let me just take a few shots here. Boink, hit him in the back of the base. This guy with a piece of Lexan, this is 1/16, or better known as 2/32. And if I line him up, and he shoots it. Yeah, just missed, just to the side, but it's a little schmutz on the ball here too. But this guy's, they're all pretty accurate. And there you go, hit him. And this guy, just for the demonstration purposes, hit him. So the idea of the L-shaped bar, which exists in these guys as well, L-shaped bar, and I'm going to show you what I've done with these guys as well. This one's the easiest one to explain. The L-shaped bar, what it does is when you pull it back, it resists the sideways twisting. So if you have a regular TTQB and you pull them back, there's nothing to stop them from going to side, you see? Like this, side to side. So when you shoot it, you know, you've got another dimension to contend with. Whereas these guys, and similar to these guys, although, you know, I moved away from this design, what this does is this eliminates the ability to twist. It's hard to twist them side to side, because basically what he's doing is he's twisting, and the base is twisting in my fingers here. To a large extent, it eliminates the side to side twisting. So once you've got this arm and the ball lined up properly, bang, well, I missed by a little bit, but that's not horrible. So the difference between this one, this is a 1/16 piece of Lexan, which you could just take and bend, versus this one here, I did a 1/32 piece, and I just doubled it up and I snapped it together with rivets. Let me show you what Lexan does. So here's a piece of the 3/32, and you see how I just put these bends in it? Lexan is great. It's just like glass. It's supposed to be 250 times stronger than glass. So let me show you what happens here. If I just want to put a bend in here like this, I'm just going to go like this, and it's going to bend it. It's not going to snap, and there you go. It holds its shape. So that's how I got these to go. So for example, for the 1/32 one, I would just take a pair of the duckbill pliers, the wider ones, hold it like this, and then just bend it into an L. I just hold it kind of straight and bend it. That's it. And again, if it's not perfect, you can bend it some more. You can actually bend Lexan all the way back on itself and it won't break. It's a really cool substance, right? So I just go like this, and when I do the how-to video, you see I'm just going to hold it like this. I'm going to drill a hole there, put a rivet in it, and so on. But the idea is that these quarterbacks resist this. You know, you're not going to be able to pull him back this way. You're not going to be able to pull him back this way. He's going to only pull back straight back and forward. So as long as you line up the throwing arm with the aiming arm, like this, you take them and you bang and hit them right in the derriere. So that's the idea of the TTQB. And again, like this guy, I purposely left on an obtuse angle, so he's more familiar. So this guy I left the bar on. It's the only one I've done it with of the ones I have. But here I've got him on an old school Coleco base. But this guy you have to lean forward because of his angle. So this is more in line with what people are used to seeing. And there I wobbled my hand, and that's what I get for that. So you still have some of the same faults you have with a TTQB, but if I hold them nice and straight and go like that, that went right there. I don't know if that hit him or not. It's slightly different characteristics whether you have a piece of, so here on this one I have a 1/32 piece. It goes like this, goes around and back, and then back up to here about halfway. So what I've done is basically just reinforce the corner, and I'm kind of trying to line it up along the hash marks here so I can eyeball my guy a little bit better, but let's see what I do here. Bang, right in the back of the base. That's not too shabby. And the funny thing is, all this practicing I've gotten pretty good, so I can, oops, nope. Nah. One piece of advice is once you build a million of these things and you test them, you get really good even at the old school TTQB because all the mechanics are the same. See what I mean? I'm getting better at this, guys. There you go. That's an old school TTQB, but these guys I find are a little bit easier. So if your mechanics aren't quite perfect, this will help it. So again, the trick is to pull the trigger back straight. Don't be pulling it like this. But that's true for every one of these quarterbacks. It's true for even the TQB also. If you pull on an angle like that, the arm's going to go back crooked. One of my favorite guys here. Go all the way back to the 5-yard line here. Hit this guy just past midfield. And now, you know what? My hand was not in the right position. I knew it when I threw it. Let's try this again, right here. There you go, right there. Anyway, I'm going to show the video on how to make these guys. Whether you want to use the 1/32 and have it wrap around itself. I'm going to show you how to use a rivet gun to pop these in. And you got something that's a little bit better than this, and what it does is also eliminates the weakness in the ankle, because I've seen a lot of these guys taped up pretty good. Down here, people put rubber bands and glue and stuff like that, and you can see how this guy's already kind of bent. It won't happen with this.